did accordingly. And if any such thing has happened, people are free to go to any court of law, but nobody has gone to court of law. So I personally don't feel that this is such a serious matter which should be considered for asking for more powers.
Mr. Rawat, I really appreciate you taking the time out and speaking to us and speaking to the viewers of Mirror Now, because this is such a time where so many allegations are being made, so many controversies have emerged regarding the Election Commission. There is an attempt clearly to put in this fear and doubt in people's mind about this whole electoral process. So it helps, when we have a former CEC who comes and speak to us about it. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, let's go across to our guest now and say good evening to Mr. R.P. Singh of the BJP. Sulaiman Khan of the Congress Party joins us. Ashutosh, senior journalist. Geeta Luthra, senior lawyer. And we'll also get Vipul Mudgal to join us in just a bit of the ADR. But let me go across to Mr. Sulaiman Khan first. Mr. Khan, you heard former CEC here on the show. We had one yesterday as well on Mirror Now on the urban debate. And they both seem to suggest that till now, we've seen 100% matching of VVPATs and EVM. There is actually no record to suggest that there have been mismatches. So why are we so concerned, and why are we repeatedly raising these questions about EVMs?
Let me first, the former Chief Election Commissioner said that there has been, adverse opinion about Election Commission of India because in the delay in disposal of the complaints. That is one point which he has pointed out. The complaints made in April were finally started to be disposed of in the, almost second week of May, when the 5th or 6th phase was starting. And we made 11 complaints against Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, the BJP president. Those are all disposed of finally in the first and second week of May. And the second point which he missed, that one of the election commissioner, Mr. Ashok Lavasa's dissenting opinion on those complaints, 4 of the complaints against Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, has not been taken on record. The dissent has not been taken on record. Therefore, there is an adverse opinion about Election Commission of India. As far as EVMs and VVPAT are concerned, Supreme Court has delivered a judgment on 8th of April 2019. 5 VVPAT have to be cross-verified with the EVMs per assembly constituency. What we have said to the Election Commission of India yesterday, that please, through a representation of 22 parties which represent 70% of the electorate, what we have said, please cross-verify the VVPAT slips with the EVM prior to starting the original counting starts. Just do it at the outset, at the beginning. And if there is a discrepancy in any of the 5 VVPATs, so please count all the 100% VVPATs, cross-verify the slips with the EVMs. The reason why we have said that, because 5 VVPATs cross-verification is a sample size. If the sample is polluted, that is 2% of the 100% EVMs or VVPATs, then there is a possibility that 98%, we don't know how many percent is, there are discrepancies in those. Therefore, we have requested that. But today we have got to know that Election Commission of India has rejected our demand. Why we are saying this? Because in January 2019, we have given a representation, 22 opposition political parties have given a representation to the Election Commission of India, asking that all the EVMs which are connected, now 100% EVMs are connected with the VVPATs, all 100% VVPAT slips should be cross-verified with the EVMs. This we have said in January 2019. Finally, Supreme Court decided, and on 15th of April 2019, a letter was issued by Election Commission of India where it laid down the procedure as I have said. But it is completely silent on the issue that if there is a discrepancy or there is a mismatch, then they have laid down the procedure that the count of the VVPAT will be the final result. If there is a discrepancy in any of the 5 VVPATs or EVMs which are verified, then the result of the VVPAT slips will be final. But they did not go into the reason for discrepancy. They did not go into the investigation aspect of that. And they are completely silent on what will happen to the remaining VVPATs or EVM which have to be cross-verified. Because the sample, there is a discrepancy. So there is a lacuna in the procedure. Second, they have said, they have not told that in case of discrepancies, there is a chart. There is a chart, annexure A of that letter dated 15th of April 2013. That chart says EVM, VVPAT, and the third is discrepancies, if any. if there is a discrepancy, the returning officer and the observer to the Election Commission of India has to report that chart to the state electoral officer and not to the ECI. And there is no procedure as to what the state electoral officer will do. Therefore, we have raised all these issues, and therefore, we have said, please count the VVPATs, cross-verify the 5 VVPATs per assembly constituency before starting the actual counting. And if there is a mismatch, please 100% verify that assembly at least. And what is the problem? What was the reason for spending 10,000 crores on VVPATs? There is no reason. And if the result get late for a day or two,
here is my question.
At least the apprehensions, the doubts in the mind of the people are cleared.